All right, we got a 2014 Passat TDI CKRA engine code. We're gonna be doing a time belt water pump replacement. So let's get going.
Your tool list too for a second.
Yeah, tools. 3/8 deep 10mm socket, 6-inch 3/8 wobble extension, 3/8 deep 13mm socket, T25 Torx bit, triple square 10 3/8, 16mm 3/8 short and deep, 13mm short socket, 15mm short socket, 18mm half-inch, 16mm half-inch for the engine mounts, and a 16mm wrench for the Serpentine belt tensioner. Aside from that, you need a couple pin tools and a crank lock. I minimum recommend the pin tools, then you just mark the crank, but don't just do this job just marking. I think that's insane. When you could just put 2 punches at minimum to lock the crank and the cam and the high pressure fuel pump. Other than that, it's a real simple job. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and yeah, that's it. Cover. Get everything out on this side here. Coolant reservoir, 2 T25s. Unplug that guy. 10mm for the windshield wash. 1, 2.
310s for the
310s for the fuel filter housing. Gonna unplug your differential pressure sensor. Two triple square 10s for the differential pressure sensor mounting bracket. Get that guy out of the way. Unclip the 2 hoses from the differential pressure sensor. And slide that up around back. Get everything loosened up. Push down and pinch right here and right here. That's going to disconnect your fuel line. Fuel line's disconnected. Get all this stuff up and out of the way here.
This is what we got open so far.
Just going to keep this stuff tied up and out of the way. Upper timing cover, loosen that up. Okay. 213. Engine mount support bracket. 216s for the engine mount to body support.
216s.
We're gonna get the belt, get some access right here.
517.
Start loosening up this fuel liner. We're not going to take it all the way out because it has this pain in the ass mud flap. Cover's coming off.
225. T45.
Let's loosen up the belt tensioner.
16 for the belt. Remember the direction of the belt if you're not replacing it. And you got triple 10.
Triple tens. Triple tens. I'm gonna pop this guy off. Looks like someone has already been in here. Likely had a water pump replacement previously, be my guess. Here's our timing mark right here. Gonna put one bolt in loosely on there.
Already lowering it down. Just pushing the jack under it. Where are you placing it?
Right on the oil pan. Make sure you have either a block of wood or a nice rubber pad like this.
Just enough to get a little play under the mount.
Take 2/18 out for the motor mount. 16s, got one right here. Loosen that up a little bit.
You're jacking the engine up a little bit to get access to them more.
Yes.
So if you're on a lift or jack stand, you can jack the engine up a little bit just to get more room.
Pull. Right there.
That's how you reach that one.
Make it easy on yourself.
That's a big boy.
This guy's a little longer. You want to keep them separate. Obviously, it's pretty easy to remember. Here, 16. Gotta come right out. If you want, while you remember, put your bolts back. 12.19, put it on the crank. All right, we're gonna crank it around. We have our arrow right here. When this arrow is pointing straight up, that's how we know we're in top dead center with the cam. But we're gonna go ahead and watch this mark right down here. This little arrow is gonna line up with the line on the crankshaft pulley. Okay, right there. Triple 10. We left that loose so we didn't have any tension. It didn't rock the belt. We know we're right where we want to be. Took the cover off, couple P30s.
What cover is this?
Some lower timing cover.
Over time.
Okay, get the top three off and the bottom two. Pretty good there. Oh, pretty good there.
What are you checking?
So lined up right. See where the pick is? That locking hole is. We're obviously going to dial it in, get it closer.
Yep.
And same over here. See the hole inside?
Yep.
Yeah. That's where these locks are going to go.
Gotcha.
Our crank lock, T10 100. Slide that guy in. Okay, lock there. Loosen up tensioner. Oh, someone's put the wrong bolt here. 15, yeah. Should be a 15. There's a little... Maybe I'm wrong there. All right. Roll that back, detension the belt. 13. 13. Your two rollers. 16 roller. Okay, get this out of the way. Tensioner. Roller. belt's off here.
It looks so rusty.
It's just an old belt. I mean, I can't even find a number on this thing.
Do you think it's aftermarket already?
Could be. Could have had it replaced somewhere else. I don't know. They must not be too confident because they're here just for a timing belt replacement. But everything else is pretty crappy.
Is this OEM?
This is OEM, I believe. Yeah, this is factory. We see a lot of people just will replace the belt, which is crazy. You're gonna do this much work and just replace the belt? All right, here we go. Here's a better view of our lock for your high pressure pump. I usually take the pin off, make sure it comes off. More about that later. Here. Okay. Locks in here. So we have our 3 locks are in. Going in on the water pump now. 310s, holding that in. Okay, get those guys out.
Get the catch pan.
Make sure you open the coolant bottle or else it's going to definitely hold an air bubble in there.
OEM?
Is the factory pump? I don't see a date on it, but yeah. At some point, judging by
Probably been replaced.
how clean it is, but it's also looks like it's been leaking out of the top weep. These pumps are notoriously bad for leaking. Leaks are small, but anytime you're working on a TDI and you're trying to do a vacuum test to see if the cooling system is sealing, especially a CKRA, these things will seal pressure, but they won't hold vacuum. That's a telltale sign you got a bad water pump. Got a fresh pump. Okay, so this has been replaced, but it looks like some point in 2018. We have our little date stamp right here. So this was new to this car in the 29th, or manufactured the 29th week of 2018. So we know this has been replaced at some point. You can see this one here, the 50th week of 2022. Slide the pump in.
Square 10s. 10 mil bolts.
Carrying the cover.
And you're up. Alright, what do we got?
Tensioner. This little ear goes in this little hole.
I'll get a better shot once you're in. This is a 15?
It's a 15.
And you're in the back of it, fits in.
Lower here. We're going to torque this, so I don't want to go crazy. Lower roller. 13 goes on there. Going to torque that in the end here. We have our upper. I don't put this on until I see where the belt is actually stretching to.
New belt.
First thing, going around the bottom.
You do the 10 mil trick on this, or?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Hold on, man. Definitely want to get it pretty on the bottom, like get it pretty in there. Socket.
This size?
Maybe 9 or 10.
You just using it to hold it?
Just gonna get it held on the teeth. That way we can pull nice and hard on it. Okay. So the back is irrelevant. That's where we want all the slack. We want all our tension in the front. So you go around the water pump, start pulling. Get onto the tightest teeth we can fit onto on the high pressure fuel pump. So we have like, we're nice and tight here. We're going back. Same thing, get on the tightest teeth you can fit on. This teeth you can fit on here. Slide her on. You know you're tight. You can barely get anything back to go in there. So we left this out, that way we get nice and we get good tension here. Just push this on all the way. Like if you have this much slack on the back of the belt, that's a good sign. Be happy, this is going to be an easy job for you. This guy. Obviously you want to keep pushing down, you don't want the belt pushing up on the threads on this thing. Just lightly, we're going to torque it in a second. You take your 9 out from the bottom, it's done its job. Come on, that way we can get the cover on in a second.
Bottom.
20, 20, 20, 20. Okay, we got our detention still looking good here. Okay, pull your pins out.
Pin's a little snug.
Pin's tight, that's good. That's a good thing.
Came out.
Pins out. Back close, then you're gonna take a 6 Allen. We're gonna tension until this arrow is in the middle of that little gap right there. That's perfect right there. Okay.
Center that window.
Your lower cover.
Lower cover going in. Lower timing cover going in.
Get our T30s in here. Alright, where's my 230 at? Two on the bottom.
Snug on these.
You're not gonna kill them.
Don't kill them. Any tricks with this?
Nope.
The keys?
Yeah, it's keyed. Can't fuck this up. Can't mess. Sorry, you can't mess this up.
Can't mess this
This
up.
little nipple right here is going to go in that little extra small hole.
These are triple tens.
Triple tens here.
Triple square 10. 4 of them. What size is that center bolt?
19 millimeter head on it, 19 millimeter 12-point head. Snug these on.
Snug those on.
Dead center. Now we got our 2 pins. This will tell us if we're correctly in time or not. That one's a little stiff.
We are snug.
But it's going in nicely. All right, so we look good here. We're in time on our mark. We got our pins in. I heard a lot of complaints about this. You know, a lot of really smart guys watching YouTube videos telling me I'm doing it wrong. So there you go. That's the right way for you. All right, now let's torque our last 2, our nut and our bolt. I borrowed Bocky's fancy new torque wrench. So this one's going to 20 Newton meters. 20 right on the nuts. And then it's getting a 45 angle on there.
So 20 newtons plus a 45.
20 plus a 45. Okay. Then we got our 16 here. Okay. This old girl's going 50. Plus a 90. Let's see if this 3/8 will do this 90. It's impressive.
Confirming that was a 50 newtons plus a 90.
50 newtons plus a 90. When you get that plus the 90, you always have to replace it because it's stretching that bolt out to get it in that hole.
Engine mount bracket. You should have stored your bolts in the proper location.
Okay, leave it nice and loose. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay.
Oh, this would be a crucial step, right?
Well, this is easier to do before the mount is fully installed. Because you don't want to put this on half-ass. You want it to go in all its little guides. You want to catch all the clips. You want to make sure this thing is nice and secure in there. Okay, get your middle fingers, spin that back one in nice. Get this front guy.
Just lowered the engine or lifted it up.
Yeah, got myself a little more room there.
Jacking the car back up or lowering the engine.
We got our lower bolt right here. Over there. And pop that in. And we got our hole right here. Line it up. Same thing, once you got it lined up. Slow her down.
Lower
Get
the
our engine mount put in place.
The mount back in.
16 with the stud goes in front.
Why have they put it in the back before?
People do it, yeah. I mean, you need this stud to mount the fuel filter though, so that's going to be important. Yeah, recommend you put your engine mount bracket in now.
Right there. This is what it should look like as of now.
Down.
Lower the engine down.
Get that? You want these to be center in the hole. The hole is oblong. You want these bolts to be pretty center. That's going to give you the least vibration, least feeling from them.
Yep. Less feedback.
Yeah.
Nice. 218s.
Put this guy down.
Now we can pull our jack out.
Take one of your 10s from the fuel filter. Put it in here. Let's say 2 or 3 threads will be fine.
What's that doing?
That's just saving you a headache in a minute here. Okay. Alright, so here's why you put that 10 in. Slide that under and then right on top. That way you're not trying to put that 10 in when the filter's in like this.
Gotcha. We'll just fit. Slide in nice.
Then you can just get your tool down there and lock it in.
Gotcha.
10. 10. You have your 10 nut on the stud. A trick that works for that. Take your 10 nut, put it on a magnet, fish it down there. Then you can start it on the stud. Tighten that guy up. Now we can put our triple 10s in. Jump the gun a little there before. For your fuel lines. So you got your 2 fuel lines coming in. Blue is return. You can always match them up on these little tabs. Go down and hear the click. No click. Try again.
Yeah, no click, no go.
You can hear that one. No click on the supply. Nice click. Pull on them. They feel good. Biggest thing you're going to find there is people have broken the lines out of their holders. That happens quite often.
T25s, reservoir holder. That's a cool looking.
What?
How's it cool?
Disgusting. They've opted out of the flush though. They don't want to be scammed with anything like a coolant flush. I'm okay with that.
They'll be back.
Yeah, exactly.
$10 for this little guy. Windshield wash mount bracket. $10.
Plug in the level sensor.
Make sure you hear it click. Roll your lines back on. What sensor is this?
Differential pressure sensor.
Got it.
Okay. Put that in. Alright, we got everything on top pretty well handled up here. Start routing the belts on.
Putting the serpentine belt on. Remember the direction it came off.
16.
I don't know, me personally, if I'm doing my timing belt, I'm doing a serpentine.
Of course, but you know, that's not. People are in on the savings.
What do we know? My car has 500,000 miles on it.
Okay, let's get this
Tucking the well back in.
Back in. Get that tab locked in nice. Don't want that flopping around.
T25. Alrighty, splash shield going in. Bunch of T25s. 4 on each side, 245s in the rear. Driver side. T45. On the passenger front wheel, 517s. That's some severe brake dust.
Severe.
Severe. Don't forget your caps.
I get this a lot, and the logic is sound. If I'm doing a water pump and emptying my cooling system, why would I need a cool flush? Alright, I mean, sounds like you kind of thought about it a little bit, but what you didn't think about is all these contaminants that are still in the engine block, cylinder head, radiator, coolant reservoir. Flushing is going to be the only way you get this out. Draining isn't going to do anything, it's just going to leave this stuff behind. So I always recommend, if you're doing a cooling system repair, have them flush it at the end. Get all this stuff out, because at the end of the day, you don't want to spend a lot of money and then you have all this film and oil and crap in here. This is just going to go in your heater core, clog it up, give you a check engine light if it's on a diesel for sure. Keep your thermostat from sticking open, or make it stick open. Make your radiator lose efficiency, all that stuff. So very important. Keep your system clean. Don't be a smart guy thinking you know everything and you don't have to get a coolant flush.
Alrighty, we are doing a vacuum test slash coolant fill. So how can you do this without the special pumps here?
I mean, you can fill it and then lift just the front end and kind of run it, try to get the bubbles out of it.
Yep.
You can fill it, drive it, let it cool down and try to get the bubbles out of it.
I'm sure the DIY person at home is not going to obviously have all this
Yeah,
stuff.
I think you're not going to have one of these, but if you do it more than once, it's worth investing in some type of. They sell really cheap vacuum fillers on Amazon all over the place.
Gotcha.
If you have access to compress the shop air, you may as well get one of those. You'll use it. All right. Going around.
Going around. Here we go into the dirty system. What a shame. You know it's a good fill when it fills up all the way.
Oh, Kirby, I'm not living in a trailer. No way.
Putting this cap on. Ready? We'll start up. Just for the notes, this was missing. Because I'm sure someone's going to ask, you didn't put it back.
You can see this is missing. Look at all the dust in there.
Yep. Think of your tool list too for a second.
Yeah, tools. 3/8 deep 10mm socket, 6-inch 3/8 wobble extension, 3/8 deep 13mm socket, T25 Torx bit, triple square 10 3/8, 16mm 3/8 short and deep, 13mm short socket, 15mm short socket, 18mm half-inch, 16mm half-inch for the engine mounts, and a 16mm wrench for the Serpentine belt tensioner. Aside from that, you need a couple pin tools and a crank lock. I minimum recommend the pin tools, then you just mark the crank but don't just do this job just marking. I think that's insane. When you could just put 2 punches at minimum to lock the crank and the cam and the high pressure fuel pump. Other than that, it's a real simple job. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and yeah, that's it.